everybody, happy Sunday. I thought I would just, let's get these in the frame, do a quick video, kind of impromptu, about size comparison. So somebody asked on my work video if I would show a comparison between a narrow and an extra wide, and so I decided I have all the sizes. I'll do one for everybody, for all the sizes. That's a question that I notice comes up all the time, so I just grabbed one of each, and this is the majority of the sizes that are used. I don't have a B6 Slim, but I think that's the only pretty, and I don't have a micro, but those are the only two that I don't have. I have Passport, Pocket or Field Notes, A6, Personal, B6, Narrow or Standard, Wide, Extra Wide, and A5. And then I have a selection of inserts too. I will put, because I did not plan ahead, I just kind of did this impromptu. So I'll have to list out the measurements for the inserts, but usually that'll be just what the standard is. Usually I always suggest that people go onto that Etsy maker or TN maker or their website, because speckled fawns is going to have a slightly different than a Foxy Fix, or sometimes they do it with the Slim, and so this is a general what the sizes match up to. So this is a Passport. We'll just jump in. Passport, Pocket. And let's stick the A6 in here. Yeah, we'll do that. So Passport, Pocket, and A6. Let me just... These are the three tinies. I mean, there's other tinies too, but these are the three that often get compared the most. So as you can see, the Pocket and the A6 are about the same in height. The Passport's about an inch shorter and maybe a little over half an inch difference in insert dimension. I'll show you that in a minute. But again, that's Pocket, right? Passport, you can see the slight. And then in A6, you can see where that's a little overhang here, and then just maybe a quarter of an inch there. Yeah, it's not, it's over a quarter. It's between a quarter and a half, so what, 3/8? I don't know. Just between a quarter and a half. The Passport's, I was going to say the smallest, but it's not, because there's micro. But these are the regular Midori Passports. They're almost 5, so 4 3/4 and 3.5. This is a square shape, whereas the Field Notes Pockets is 3.5 by 5.5, and that's more of a rectangular shape. And then again, the A6 is a 4 by 6 average insert, and it's more of a square. So these two kind of correlate more than this one. This one correlates a little more to Personal and Narrow. So, I don't have a preference. I like them all. Let's take a look at the inserts now, just to get a side-by-side comparison. This is harder than I thought. Passport, Field Note, A6. There you can see it's, again, more square, right? More square, it's a little bit longer. And then we have the A6, which, there, you have your differences there. Right, you can see that. All right, so Personal. This is a Personal compared to, what do we compare it to? Field Notes sometimes people want to see. So there's the Field Notes and Personal. You can tell it's just, it's taller and wider. You think that just that little bit, it's about an inch and an inch. But again, these are, my measurements are not scientific, people, okay? A6 and Personal. The A6 is actually wider than the Personal, but the Personal is slightly taller. And so on the inserts, here's a personal insert. A6 field notes. So as you see, the field notes in the A6 are more or less the same height. I mean, there's a slight height difference probably with the A6, but for all intents and purposes, they're about the same height. It's really the width that you need more of. And then the personal is much more narrow than the A6. It doesn't look like it's much more, but believe me, that little bit of writing space makes a difference. It's also significantly taller, the personal, than the A6. If I had to have a pick between the three, I mean, I love the passport size, but it's not a realistic all the time planner for me. If I had to pick between these three, that would be rough. I could say that the one I could give up would be the A6. I don't like the squareness that it has. It's too wide for me. So that would be the one I could give up. I don't know that I could pick between these two. So, okay, personal B6. That's something that people like. So this, so I guess I should tell you what they are too. Sorry. So let's go back. Midori Camel Passport. Chic Sparrow Mr. Darcy Butter Rum Deluxe. Chic Sparrow Honesty. American Dream Leather, and it's a classic. Chic Sparrow Mr. Darcy Violet, which he looks dry. He's pretty, isn't he? So, right. Violet, and then this is a Peppermint Doxy B6 in the Chestnut Pilot Leather. Can we just pause for a minute in our size comparison? I love this leather so much. I don't know, it's just delicious. As you all know, I have commitment issues, and I want to switch and use them all. Whenever I feel this one, I'm like, oh my god, I love this leather. This winds up sitting by my end table in my living room, and I use it when I'm writing notes, and I have a calendar. I use it for like social media tracking, sorry, and journaling. But anyways, this is a size comparison, not a run through. I'll do more run-throughs later. Personal B6. As you see, the B6 is wider and taller. Typically, it's a 7x5. That's where the personal is going to be 6 3/4 and 6 1/2 and 3 3/4. Or is it 6 3/4 and 3 1/2? I'm not sure. Like I said, I'll put them down in the box below. I'll look them up. But well, let's see. 3 3/4, 6 1/2, 6 3/4. Okay, so 6 3/4, 3 3/4. That's the personal. The B6 is approximately a 7x5. Let me measure one of these. It's a little 7 1/2 by 5. So there's the size, in your hand comparison, how it feels. I could do a B6, I think, for an everyday carry. I really love the personal size, so that's what kind of stops me. Plus, I have so many already, and I'm just trying to, like, not invest anymore. But I do have this one, and I do love this one. So let's do size insert comparison. Here's a B6 insert and the personal. So again, as you see, slightly taller, definitely wider. Which is why it's becoming very popular, this B6, because it is so similar in size to the personal. When you're walking around with a full personal in your hand versus a full B6 in your hand, it's not that big a difference feel-wise, but you have a lot more space to write than you do in a personal. So for people who need that space, this is a good, this would be a good choice. So, all right, now let's move on to the bigger boys. I'm going to do B6 and standard narrow just for gags and giggles. So as you see, the narrow is just slightly taller than the B6 insert and slightly more narrow. I think the narrow size measures, what, 8.5, 8.25 by 4 3/4, something like that. And again, a more narrow feel, just like the Personal, a more narrow feel, but you get some height, versus the B6, which is you lose the height, but you get some width, and the A6, where you lose the height and you get some width. So, I'm gonna put let's look at the inserts really quick. B6 narrow. Again, we measured that one. And I'm gonna write these all down for you. Like 8.25 by 4.5. Yeah. So you just the inserts. This is a Shakespeare insert. They make them slightly smaller, you know, just to fit, so that you don't make inserts the same exact as the leather, because you want to leave some space for when you bulk it up and get it chunky. Like this one is chunky. That's okay, because I love it chunky. This is my lovey journal. So anyways, sorry, I don't know why I opened that up. I just felt like it. Oh, look at that. I'm getting marks all over it. Sorry. I digress. So B6 narrow. Now we'll go to narrow and wide. Right. Narrow and wide and extra wide. Let's do the 3 of them, because in reality, the differences between the wide and the extra wide are not that much. You use the same inserts that you do. You can use the same inserts. I have seen people use standard inserts in a wide and just have it bulked up chunky. I don't do that, because this is my Chic Sparrow Lovey. It's the creme leather in dark chocolate. As you can see, she's pretty chunky. I don't need to do that to this. If I did that, if I put narrow inserts in this, it would be much larger than this, and I don't have the hand bandwidth, for lack of a better word, to handle that. So this is as chunky as I like it. So I use the Moleskine size 8. I think it's 8 by 5. Yeah, 8 by 5 inserts in the wide, and that's what this is. This is the wide, versus the extra wide, which you can just stuff more into it. You can double up your inserts on the elastic, whereas in this one, if you did that, you could do it, but you would get some overhang, and some people don't like the overhang. So she's Chic Sparrow. These are all Chic Sparrows. It's Chic Sparrow Creme and Creme Brulee, and then Chic Sparrow Mr. Darcy and Butter Rum. She has, oh, this is 13 minutes already. Darn it. She is doing away with the extra wide, but I feel like the wide will be enough for you. So here's the narrow and the extra wide. I'm going to have to do this in 2 parts, guys. I'm going to stop here, and I'll pick back up on this, and I'm going to do it in 2 parts, because I get cut off at 15 minutes, and I don't want to rush this part of it, because this is really a part that people specifically ask about. Okay, I'll be back.